Some would have you believe tonight's XFL championship game is meaningless. Just a handful of athletes playing for $1 million. Don't dare tell that to San Francisco's Scott Adams. Anchoring the Demons' offensive line, he spent the entire season banging heads in the trenches, all the time honoring his father's memory by wearing his dad's bootlace on his wrist. Tonight, Scott dedicates this game to his father. LA's Saladin McCullough doesn't buy that meaningless nonsense either. A player of exceptional talent, Saladin prayed for a second chance, and it came as the XFL. Vindication comes with a championship tonight. 35-year-old Dwayne Harper played 13 seasons in the NFL. In training camp, he searched his soul as to why he was still playing. The answer, he's never won a championship. And then there are the quarterbacks. LA's Tommy Maddox was a #1 draft pick that never panned out, or so it seemed. Away from the game a couple of years, he's back. Wiser, stronger, more mature. In short, better than ever. A victory tonight certifies it all. San Francisco's Mike Pawlowski knows what it means to sacrifice. Mike plays with a fused spine, unwilling to walk away from the game he loves. Tonight, Mike risks it all again for a title shot. The stories go on, each one more heroic than the next. So tonight, while these two teams battle for the title, know that it's not just about the money. Know that it's really about honor, about pride, about the opportunity to be called champion.
The XFL's $1 million championship game, the San Francisco Demons and the homestanding LA Xtreme. The road to the XFL championship, LA favored. They beat Chicago last week to stay at home. San Francisco won on the road last week, a huge upset in Orlando. Welcome to the LA Memorial Coliseum. Matt Vasgersian along with you. This is it, the whole ball of wax. $1 million in bragging rights to the league's first championship on the line. LA and San Francisco, the first rivalry in the XFL and maybe the league's best. We welcome Jesse Ventura to the telecast. Let's talk about the homestanding Xtreme and their outstanding quarterback, Tommy Maddox, who happens to be the league MVP.
That's right. He's Player of the Year in the XFL, but Tommy says that's an award that should go for the whole team because he can't do it alone. But the thing Tommy's most proud of is the fact the knock on him was get to him early, he can't last. Tommy Maddox has played every essential down for the LA Xtreme, and San Francisco's going to have to disrupt him if they expect to win tonight.
Yeah, opponents just didn't get to Maddox this year, in part because he's got an outstanding offensive line. We welcome Mike Adamle to the telecast. Mike, maybe the best offensive line in the XFL here in LA.
Matt, unequivocally, they've allowed a league low, just 14 sacks and only 2 in the last 7 weeks. Watch what happens when a team tries to apply conventional 4-man rush pressure. Tommy Maddox has all day long to throw in the pocket. Okay, defensive coordinator says, let's blitz. No problem. LA picks up the blitzing middle linebacker, and Maddox steps up into a pocket to avoid the pressure from the outside. LA can also run the ball down your throat. This stuff is textbook. Tackle blocks down, guard pulls, and watch number 24, Saladin McCullough, the little jab step to set up the block, and goodbye, 44 yards, a big touchdown in last week's win over Chicago.
All right, so let's talk about the visitors, the San Francisco Demons. Jim Skipper, their coach, told us the past couple of weeks that this team's got to play emotionally up for them to win in the playoffs. That didn't happen last time San Francisco and LA met.
That's right, but Jim Skipper doesn't make excuses. He said they had 2 essential games. They came in flat against LA, and it showed. Let's look how flat San Francisco was. Here you see Pawlowski getting hammered in the backfield. Offensive line doesn't do their job. They couldn't run the ball. Anderson getting stuffed in the middle, and then look at how flat they are on defense. Even with a blitzing linebacker, he doesn't get where he needs to go. The handoff to McCulloch, he breaks it outside, and arm tackling like this is not going to get the job done as McCulloch goes in almost untouched for the touchdown.
Well, the San Francisco defense certainly has to step up, but that's not the only phase of the game that the Demons have to bring to the table here tonight.
Yeah, the man who really has to step up, Matt, is quarterback Mike Pawlowski, the emotional leader of the San Francisco team. He missed last week's playoff win because of a sprained shoulder. And Pat Barnes got the job done for the Demons. We talked to Mike yesterday, and one of the things we'll chart tonight is how well he throws the ball downfield. But Mike said his arm is strong. It shouldn't hamper his throwing, even though he might be a surprise starter. Here's a scramble for the football.
Scramble for the football, as fans are aware of. It's the scramble for possession. There's wind blowing right to left here. This will determine who kicks and who receives.
All right, fellas. No contact before you get to the ball.
Seth Harden for Los Angeles. James Hunden for San Francisco. Hunden a wideout. Harden the defensive end. This is all James Hunden. If he can keep possession, San Francisco gets the right to receive. And amidst big fanfare on the field and a lot of emotion in the stands,
People think we're trying to win that.
Hunden gets on it. Tommy Maddox is good and calm in the midst of a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. Sans the wind. It is breezy, but a lot more sunshine and a lot warmer than we anticipated yesterday. They were talking about rain here for the $1 million championship game. As a result of the nice weather and the big stakes, a lot of fans here today as well.
Let's go. Everybody get their fucking block. Everybody get their block. To the house on 3. 1, 2, 3. Down.
Mike Pawlowski, as you heard during our open, did not play in last week's big San Francisco upset in Orlando. Instead, it was a fellow Cal Bear alumnus, Pat Barnes, that guided San Francisco's comeback. You see a lot of red in the stands here this afternoon. San Francisco has traveled well this afternoon, guys.
They had the best crowds in the XFL this week at Pac-Bell Park, and they just decided to come on down the road a little bit, about, 400 miles, Matt?
And I'll tell you, they've been yelling and hollering before this game even started, and it's great to see visiting fans here in the opposing Coliseum.
And anytime it's a Northern California thing versus a Southern California team, man, anything can happen.
Jose Cortez is set to kick it and start this $1 million championship game. James Hunden lost it in the sun and starts the return at his own goal line. Dropped at the 11.
And I'll tell you, he did well to get back out to the 11-yard line on that one.
Mike Pawlowski led the XFL in completion percentage during the regular season.
Skip.
Both these offenses pass-oriented. Pawlowski and Maddox 1 and 2 in attempts this year. Coach Al Luganville's had great first-year success everywhere he's been as a head coach.
Money, go! 290!
Pawlowski and the Demons start their day at the Los Angeles 11. A handoff to Kelvin Anderson around the left side. Drop for a gain of nothing.
And, Matt, here's a guy who's going to be a key. Kelvin Anderson, number 4, brought down by that man there, Lamont Evans. How well he runs the football last week against Orlando. 53 yards. Doesn't sound like much, but every single one of them were key, and it was important in San Francisco once they got back in the game to maintain some ball control.
Let's remember, San Francisco started very slow last week. They don't dare do that against this LA team, which has a great offense.
Ryan Roberson in forward motion. There's a little pass incomplete intended for Jamie Reeder. Well, people will be watching the progression of Mike Pawlowski and his passing game today. He was injured week 10 here against Los Angeles, did not play last week, and eyes are going to be focused on him, especially in the first quarter today.
Well, you know, you can second guess a coach, but I would have gone with Pat Barnes and brought Pawlowski in after. I would not have started him.
The Demons are the XFL's best third down conversion team, converting it over 40%. Here's Pawlowski to pass, spreading it out up top, and it's dropped. Looked like he had Jimmy the Jet, but Jimmy the Jet Cunningham couldn't hang on.
That answered a few questions about Mike Pawlowski's arm strength there. And look where he throws this ball into coverage, but right between the safety and quarterback. Good throw by Mike Pawlowski.
There's Mike Panasuk on to punt after a 3-and-out to start it for San Francisco here this afternoon. It's a short punt, a live ball at the 36. Damon Gibson was on it and then got smoked as soon as he made the catch.
His own player hit him.
Killed him a week ago against Orlando. Bad field position, and now LA's got it here to start their first offensive series.
We got a flag.
Eligible kicking team player downfield on the kicker is number 54. 5 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Tommy Maddox in the LA Xtreme, the league's best offense. Last 5 games, he was dropped 10 times. Rather in the first 5 games. Recently, last 5, that offensive line tightened up. They only allowed 14 sacks all season, including the postseason game last week.
And so much of the game is field position, and San Francisco's already given it up to LA, and I don't think you dare do that to Tommy Maddox. You can't let him start on your side of the 50-yard line.
Blue 44!
Blue 44 swap!
All kinds of motion and all kinds of flags.
Oh, they're calling a procedure on LA.
64 offense, 5 yards. The down remains first.
Well, one of the things that San Francisco wants to do is force Tommy Maddox out of his comfort zone, and that's up to the front 4 of San Francisco. It doesn't mean necessarily sack him because you can't, but it means anytime they go back to pass, to push, to surge, and have somebody in Tommy's face.
48!
Penalty marches him back now.
48!
First and 15. Saladin McCullough. Penetration into the LA backfield, and McCullough dropped for a loss.
Orlando with one of the better running attacks in the XFL, and last week San Francisco was able to shut that down.
And they did a nice job right there shutting it down. Good penetration. They beat the LA offensive line off the ball.
Start out there.
LA offers a little something that Orlando couldn't last week, and that's a passing game.
48!
Second and 17.
48!
A 5-receiver set now for LA. And a hand to Saladin McCullough with all kinds of room. A big gainer on the ground, and if LA can establish that early this afternoon, San Francisco's got problems.
Well, what did that was the fear of the pass. They were sitting at 2nd and 17. They thought Maddox would throw the ball. Instead, a little delayed draw to McCullough. He breaks it outside, and it's the fear of the passing game that made that successful.
Also, San Francisco gambled a little bit, Jesse. They had a stint on the inside. It took the contained guy to the inside, and Saladin was able to bounce it outside.
44! Triple!
The Xtreme also very good in converting on 3rd down. Darnell McDonald demanded 4 motion. McCullough slipped. A big break for San Francisco. Eric England got there, and Saladin McCullough never had his feet under him. A loss of 3.
And now Al Luganbill's faced with a 4th down. He's going to go for it, or does he try the field goal? He's going for it. First big play of the championship right here.
How about it? You know, come to play, right?
I don't think that's too far.
What I think Al believes is that it's a little bit out of range for his kicker, Jose Cortez.
Go!
On 4th and 5, LA's first possession of the day, they're going for it. Maddox is going to throw. And he's got a completion out to Jermaine Copeland. First down, LA.
Jermaine Copeland, number 86 out of Tennessee, not the fastest guy in the world. He's not going to dazzle anybody with his speed or his 40 time, but this guy knows how to run around and he knows how to get open.
Not only that, Mike,
Kevin Case-Fahar,
he's got great hands and he's tall. So all that Maddox has got to do is get it up in the air, and Copeland with the great hands will bring it down.
Had a huge season during the regular campaign. In a big game against San Francisco, Week 10.
48!
Pick your poison. You stop the run, they come back and beat you with the pass.
That was incomplete, trying to get it to McCullough out of the backfield. So many weapons on the LA Xtreme. Saladin McCullough last week was responsible for 2/3 of their total offensive yards. We've already seen what Jermaine Copeland can do. He's the XFL's leading receiver. He absolutely picked apart San Francisco 2 weeks ago.
We have another to talk about. Their other receiver, Darnell McDonald, led the league in touchdowns this year, number 80. Also, Damon Gibson. They are loaded at wide receiver. Now a 5-back set. 5 wide receiver set, I should say. No backs, no backfield.
2nd and 10, 3-step drop and an incompletion. Looking for Damon Dunn, the Stanford product, and he couldn't hang on.
That had touchdown written all over it. That's why Tommy's so upset about that play.
They're talking about having the right play called.
The call hit the hot receiver. He saw Kevin Case-Fahar, number 27 for San Francisco. Blitz off the edge. The cornerback, bang, hit the hot receiver.
48!
But he's got to catch it.
48!
Play action over the middle and incomplete. Looking for Damon Gibson that time, and the LA offense misfiring just a bit here in their first possession.
Well, let's also give credit to the San Francisco defense. They're getting a pass rush. They're getting in Tommy Maddox's face. They've got to do that.
Tell them to keep running. Just keep going, baby.
Maddox perhaps feeling like his receivers not finishing out their routes and alligator arming a bit. Here's a 37-yard field goal attempt by Jose Cortez, the league's best kicker during the season. That's a walk in the park for a guy who at one point made 9 in a row. LA on the board first in the XFL's $1 million championship game. You're watching the XFL on NBC.
The XFL on NBC.
3-0 Los Angeles. San Francisco shut out 2 weeks ago here in LA, and Mike Pawlowski knows they need a meaner effort to beat the Xtreme today.
We didn't bring our A game that game, and if that's what they're expecting this game, fine, because we're going to hit them, and we're going to hit them in the mouth, and we're going to hit them again. It's a violent game. Football is a violent game, and yeah, I'm a quarterback saying it, but we're going to hit them, and we're going to hurt these guys, and we're going to scare these guys, and that's how we're going to win.
Had that soundbite lifted right out of Dave Killer Carlson's spiel and slapshot, right? Well, hit him in the mouth.
Little bit of trivia, guys. In the 2 meetings, the team that scored first won the game. And, of course, last time LA only had to score once because San Francisco didn't score at all.
SF versus LA for the 3rd time this year. It's the only time in the XFL that opponents met each other 3 times. Just another thing to add to this great rivalry. This is James Hunden returning the kickoff back to the 17-yard line before Lamont Evans and Ron Carpenter got there.
Let's see if San Francisco uses a little smash mouth football here.
Here we go. Demons alert. Remember, we got to be more physical now. Be more physical. Go stack left. Demons alert. Slant check with me. On. Ready?
Staying true to the mantra.
Go. Let's get physical.
Blue 22 poster.
I'm going to stop you right there before you start to sing.
Blue
Don't worry.
22 poster.
Kelvin Anderson on the handoff. The Demons' leading rusher. A gain of 1 before Jeff Russell got up there from that linebacker slot.
And they love the way number 20 plays. Jeff Russell, he's really like a nickel linebacker in this alignment against San Francisco. He takes a brief look at the receiver and then comes up hard. It's like the monster man that old college and high school teams used to use.
And an excellent read and reaction by him.
And the nose that only Rocky Balboa would love. It's been broken about 19 times. He says only twice.
White 90! Alert, alert! Alert the fans! White 90!
Motion but no flag. Play action by Pulaski. Now a late flag and an incomplete pass intended for Travis Moore. Looked like Jamal Duff may have yipped on the line for the LA Xtreme.
Well, those D linemen like to get any head start they can to get to the quarterback.
96, 5 yards, repeat, second down.
Jamal Duff indeed the guilty party.
And a lot of guys, a lot of players, we've seen it many, many times in big games when there's so much on the line. In this case, $1 million for the 45 players, counting the practice squads in each team. You get a little edgy early on.
Travis Moore, the man in the high motion. Out to him in the flat. Complete as they bring it up to the 30. A gain of 6 and a first down for San Francisco.
Tommy Maddox with not a care in the world. We got 3 last time. We'll get 7 the next. That's his mind thought set all the time.
Well, the key for San Francisco, I think, is ball control. Keep Tommy Maddox off the field. Control the line of scrimmage and don't let that LA offense out there.
That's what happened in week 1 when they beat them 9-6. 34 minutes of possession on the clock for San Francisco. High motion again. Might have been offside there.
Pulaski's got a receiver wide open. That's Sean Manuel. Sean Manuel caught only 3 passes all season long. Started to get a little more action his way during the postseason. He caught 2 of them last week in Orlando.
Quick count. Skip right, 46 stretch. On gunner, ready? Check! Check Opie! Check Opie! Gunner, gunner! Go!
4th play of the drive of the San Francisco Demons. Hand to Calvin Anderson with a corner to turn. He turns it well and brings it up to the 48-yard line. A gain of 11 and another first down for the Demons. Reggie Durden and Lamont Evans in on the tackle.
And Jesse, that's what they meant by physical, what Mike Pulaski meant by getting after it.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I like Anderson. He goes out there as a hard running back. He doesn't wait to get hit. He delivers the blow.
Player down for San Francisco.
Travis Moore.
It is Travis Moore indeed. One of the receivers in that important 5-receiver attack.
Back in Los Angeles with the Xtreme leading San Francisco 3-0 midway through the first quarter of this XFL championship game. On the Xtreme sideline, the mood is somewhat subdued. Perhaps the players are a bit comfortable. Or they're just waiting to get back in the game. The offense waiting for their opportunity. Tommy Maddox getting set.
Travis Moore on the sideline, as you saw a moment ago, brought off by the trainers. Now, luckily for San Francisco, they did activate 5 wide receivers for this week, unlike last week when they were shorthanded when Travis had cramping problem. But right now, his status is questionable. Does not look good at this point.
Reported. Ram, Z-Ron, Tom, check with me. All right.
Well, one of the big reasons they wanted to activate the 5 receivers is because that's the way they wanted to look at the defense of the LA Xtreme. They wanted to throw down the field more. That 5-receiver set was an important part of it. We'll see how they reshape their game plan here without one of those 5. Jimmy Cunningham, the guy in motion, hand to Kelvin Anderson. No gain on the play.
There he is at the bottom of the pile, number 20, Jeff Russell. The aggressive corner force and upending Anderson.
Jeff Russell is a guy who's had 2 surgeries over the past 2 years. He wants to re-pursue his grad school education and do so without having to play indoor football this year. If he wins that bonus today, and each player wins roughly $25 grand in the bonus scheme, he might be able to take some time off. Guy's been playing football for 2 years straight.
He'd love to take some time off.
390.
2nd and 10 now. Play action. Look out. Pulaski's flushed out of the pocket. Does a good job to avoid a couple of tacklers. Has a man wide open. Oh, and it's knocked down by Brian Roberson.
Would have been a circus catch, and let's hope he's not hurt, or San Francisco better hope he's not hurt.
Well, Pulaski was lucky to get this pass off.
Good job to pick up the blitz there, and Mike taking the heads-up play, rolling out of the pocket and finding Titus Winans.
Mike Pulaski's running for his life here, but he picks up, as you said, Mike, some good blocks, gets it downfield, almost a circus catch.
Kelvin Anderson, and that's what you like your running back to be able to do. Blitz, pickup.
Now 3rd and long. San Francisco just gets it off. Pulaski running for his life again. He misses one man, buys himself some time, and has a completion. Close to a first down. They wave it out of bounds, however. It was James Hunden, but it'll go as incomplete.
Well, of course, you only need one foot in here. Let's take a look at the replay and see if the officials made the right call.
And this is the thing you don't want to see happen to Mike Pulaski. Once he starts having to leave the pocket, scramble, throw on the run, those quick feet, that spells problems for San Francisco. Takes them out of what they really want to do.
Mike Panasuk out to punt. A live ball at the 26-yard line. Damon Gibson is the deep man for Los Angeles. Pressure, and Panasuk gets it away. I think Gibson had trouble finding that football in the sun, and he's dropped it to 19. It's windy, it's glary, and maybe a little tight. 3-0 LA. Well, that's certainly not good news for the San Francisco Demons, as Travis Moore is being carted into the locker room here in the first quarter. We'll see how the San Francisco offense reacts later. For now, it's Los Angeles with the football, taking over at their own 20. Pitches back to Saladin. McCullough, big hole, and a nice gain close to a first down. A gain of 8 for McCullough.
You know what's interesting, guys? Play selection during the regular season. San Francisco ran the ball 32%, threw it 68. LA ran it 35-65. But in the playoffs, 47% run for San Francisco, 53 pass, 43-57 for LA. They're trying to run the ball a lot more in the playoffs.
And McCullough's numbers in the last 2 games, astronomical.
Blue 44! Blue 44!
Second and short for LA. This McCullough again up the middle and good for a first down. You know, it's interesting to note, guys, that each team's leading rusher joined the team mid-season. McCullough was inactive until week 5. Kelvin Anderson didn't show up in San Francisco until week 6.
A lot of it has to do with injuries.
Here we go. They go play dirt. Here we go. Let's go. Deuce slip. Deuce slip. Rose on 1, right? You're out there. On the road.
Out, right?
Saladin complaining a little bit that San Francisco guilty of some extracurricular activity after the tackles were being made.
That means playing rough, Mike?
Playing rough, Jess.
Over the middle, complete Jermaine Copeland.
That's just playing good. Jermaine Copeland, one of the things that the Demons wanted to do to this guy, they're content to let him catch 4-yard, 3-yard passes underneath and then hit him as hard as they can. They don't think they can match up and push him off the line of scrimmage, or jam him at the line of scrimmage, I should say. Week 10 against the Demons, he was 9 catches, 99 yards. They couldn't stop him. They've got to find an answer quick.
And San Francisco needs to get some pressure on Tommy Maddox. The offensive line of LA now starting to control the line of scrimmage.
That was a gain of 11 and a first down for Los Angeles. Maddox will throw it again. And it's caught. Oh, let me tell you, Darnell McDonald went up and got that one. A gain of 17 and another LA first down.
Great plays at both ends of the football. Not only does Darnell make the catch, but watch Tommy Maddox here. The blow that he takes, the shot that he takes, and Jesse, you mentioned this at the top of the telecast, the stat that he is most proud of this season is the fact that he's the only quarterback in the league to start all 10 games. He hasn't been hurt. He hasn't missed any significant time.
That was a clean hit, though.
Go! 48! You might go across. 48!
Now why not pass it again? That's complete to Frank Leatherwood, the H-back. the seldom used H-back. Another first down. LA brings it down to the 5.
Matt, you said the key phrase, seldom used. Those two words, you don't think about this guy because there's so many other weapons to look for. In this case, he just so happens to be Tommy Maddox's hot receiver, and Tommy's so skilled, knew he was open, just looked his way and bang.
And some real nimble footwork as he got down by the goal line, huh, guys?
For a guy who's 260 pounds, not bad, Jess, not bad.
Well, so far, Maddox has integrated just about everybody into this drive on its 6th play.
48!
Saladin McCullough, the man in forward motion. Maddox looks for him. Oh, had it right to Frank Leatherwood, but it's dropped. Good coverage on that play by Greg Williams and Toby Wright.
And again, great blitz pickup by the Los Angeles Xtreme. Jamie Williams, the linebacker. Weak side linebacker came that time, a strong side linebacker.
Come on, D!
Time ticking away on the first quarter.
All right, that's a quarter, Mike.
That'll get LA's scoring opportunity out of the shadowy end zone. They're knocking on the door. LA on top after a quarter, 3-0 Xtreme.
You're watching the XFL on NBC.
Second and goal for Tommy Maddox and the LA Xtreme to start the second quarter. They're 7 plays into a drive, and Tommy's dipped deep into the bag of tricks to get him this far.
Here is the big play in the drive and why Tommy's so good. San Francisco blitzing with this man. Tommy just fires and finds the hot receiver, the tight end, Frank Leatherwood, no problem. 3-step drop, you can blitz, Leatherwood wide open.
Rick Garvin makes that catch. And Stone makes that catch.
48! 48!
Jermaine Copeland out of the high motion gets a head start. That's complete to Damon Gibson. Knocked out of bounds at the 2. Wendell Davis came up from the corner. And D. Gibb will be feeling that one for a little while.
Al Luganville really likes this young man out of Iowa. He says with the ball in his hands, even though he's got people like Copeland McDonald, this guy's the most dangerous player on the field. Now off the field.
Those are the sounds a guy makes when he's had the wind knocked out of him.
Oh, look
You
at this.
think?
They're going to run the football here. They got a defensive or an offensive lineman in the backfield.
What the refrigerator Perry's going on? They're going to run the ball, huh?
Jesse, I told you.
You bought it, Jess. Josh Wilcox, another seldom used H-back.
So did San Francisco.
Josh Wilcox, the son of Hall of Famer Dave, the great 49er linebacker who was here in attendance today, I believe on the sideline. Little used. Once again, that phrase, Matt.
LA's going to line up for a one-point conversion. Postseason rules in the XFL. From 1 yard out, it's a 1-point try. From 5, it's worth 2. From 10, it's a 3-point attempt.
Let's go, defense! Kick off, team! Let's
Do you get like 12 if you go from midfield?
We can talk to somebody about that.
Go!
San Francisco may want that as this game wears on.
Money.
Look, they got Jose Portilla.
Hand to McCullough, and he's stopped.
Not quite the athlete William Perry was. Well, here's what caught you off guard, Jesse Ventura. Jose Portilla lined up in the backfield. There he is, and there's the fake, and Maddox going the other direction to Josh Wilcox.
San Francisco was in a 16-0 hole last week. It's 9-0 LA today. Los Angeles on top, 9-0. Let's talk about the LA defense, boy. They have extended a consecutive scoreless streak over opponents to now 9 quarters of football. Jose Cortez to kick it away.
You're right, Matt, with all the talk about Tommy Maddox and the LA offense, LA's defense is quietly eroding. Most formidable
Josh Wilcox, third grab of the year, second score of the year. What about that celebration, dropping the elbow? What do you call that?
Well, I guess The Rock's got his elbow. That's the big Cox elbow, I guess. I don't know. If I could, I got 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches. If I could be like that with the ladies, I'd be the man. But that's for my father, for all the boys at ECW that helped me out, my boy Rod Steele, everybody back in Eugene. Thank you very much.
All right, Josh, too much information. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks for the Julia Roberts impersonation. Play action to Calvin Anderson, complete to Jimmy Cunningham. Nothing after the catch. Reggie Durden there to come up from the corner and take care of him.
Advantage Reggie Durden. What they did was send out Peter Elisara as a lead blocker, except Elisara weighs 300 pounds. Reggie just 168 and cat quick. No way Elisara can block him.
Trey, Helly.
Al Luganville told us yesterday he's most concerned with Jimmy Cunningham. He's the guy that they wanted to neutralize, and now Pulaski spends the first time out of the half. Jim Skipper can ill afford digging himself out of another big hole. Timeout in the field, 9-0 LA. We're right back. Something about these early holes for the San Francisco Demons. They dug themselves out of a 16-0 ditch last week, and they're going to have to play come from behind again here for the $1 million. Play action for Pulaski. Over the middle and caught by Jimmy Cunningham, but he's laid out pretty good. He pays the price again by Jeff Russell. This was the scene moments ago on the Demons sideline. Okay, for those of you who aren't lip readers, we can tell you that Jim Skipper told his offensive line, we got to protect Mike, lay him out, let's get physical, Olivia Newton-John,
And there's another reason we didn't have the audio. 19. Jim Skipper's vocabulary.
Right out of the George Carlin dictionary, is that one? Flag on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start. 71 offense, 5 yards, the down remains first.
So San Francisco continues to shoot itself in the foot, much to that man's dismay. A great motivator, Jim Skipper. He was that way with the New York Giants, every stint that he's had in coaching. And players love him for it. They know he's a straight shooter. They know where they stand at all times.
Right 90.
Penalty backs him up to their own 40.
Right 90.
Calvin Anderson nowhere to go. Ricky Parker, LA's leading tackler during the regular season, a loss of 3.
And that was a beautiful open field tackle right there.
Tackling is what Ricky Parker does best. When their 2 corners were hurt earlier this year, Los Angeles suffered a little bit because Ricky Parker, normally a safety, played out there, but he gave it his all. But back at his natural position, safety, he is tough, especially against the run. And doesn't that tell the story of what has happened so far here at the Coliseum?
380. 380.
2nd and 18 now for San Francisco. Oh, look out, Mike. Get out of the way. Matt Kenley, the USC product, played his college ball here. He was the first to get to Pulaski.
And that was just a straight breakdown of the San Francisco offensive line.
Nothing fancy there. LA fake blitz. Matt Kennelly just beat his man. That's his 6th sack of this season, counting the postseason.
Right here would be a good time for a quick kick and a free ball.
Come on, baby. Yes.
I mean, they got 3rd and a mile.
290.
Running out of time on the play clock as well. And they can't get it off in time.
This league is very, very funny. The San Francisco...
Quick kick,
there
Joe.
you go. Good call.
Let's do it. Yep.
The creative offensive mind of Jesse Ventura.
Not bad for an old defensive end.
Yeah, but here's what I'm thinking. Jesse, if you could come up with it, you know, we don't think Los Angeles and their great defensive minds. What do they must be thinking if we can come up with it up here? Well, they got nobody back deep, Los Angeles.
Orange 90! Watch counter! Orange 90!
I'm not sure if Mike Pulaski has this in his repertoire.
Well, he does now. 3rd and 31. Quick kick. There it is. And it's a free ball, a flag on the play. Jimmy the Jet got in between them, but it's Reggie Durden to pick up. It's Durden across midfield. You talk about a backfire. You talk about a plan gone bad. We'll see what the flag means, but if the play holds up, it's 16-0 LA.
I'll tell you what the flag means. San Francisco did not give the Los Angeles return man a fair chance to catch the football.
Violation of the 5-yard belt, kicking team number 4. That penalty is declined. The touchdown is good.
Oh, man.
Well, so much for my offensive coordinator moves. Actually, it was a good idea had they executed, but...
Well, Jimmy Cunningham got out there and almost made it happen. Now LA's going to line up to go for 2 on the PAT. Let's take a look at it again.
That should have been a San Francisco turnover. The two return men run into each other. It should have been a San Francisco ball.
Los Angeles is lined up from the 5-yard line. This is a 2-point conversion try after the touchdown.
48! 48!
And Maddox, no surprise, will throw it. Incomplete. No flag on the play. Let's take another look at the touchdown.
Everybody down in the crew. Every week a different star for the Los Angeles Xtreme. Last week Clifton Abraham. Today Reggie Durden.
Hey, listen. All right, we got to get this and get right back in the thing. Got it? When we score, we're right back in the thing. So let's go get it now. We're not going to pieces.
Last week they came back down 16-zip. Down 15-0 in the $1 million game.
All right, let's go.
That scoring play, by the way, the 71-yarder, officially scored as a punt return. The first for LA all season. This is James Hunden once again. And he dropped it to 27. Again, San Francisco without Travis Moore, one of the 5 on that revamped 5-receiver set. All kinds of motion on the line. Looked like Steve Cyphers.
Ball start. 77 offense, 5 yards. The down remains.
Hey, Godzilla might come in handy for San Francisco just about now.
It was indeed Steve Cyphers, the guilty party offsides.
Fish strong left, 46 Charlie F on gunner. Ready?
Well, listen, they did it last week, down 16-zip.
Go! Cut!
Calvin Anderson. You know, and the big difference so far has been that San Francisco has not established the ground game as it did last week.
And the other big difference is the Los Angeles offense, which has established itself where Orlando last week had no offense.
And seeing far too many of these kind of situations. 3rd and 26, 3rd and 17, 2nd and 12.
Redskins. Orange 90! Solid. Orange 90! Hut!
Out of the shotgun, Pulaski with the pocket down the middle and complete to Jimmy Cunningham.
Tommy, up 15-0. Everybody seems pretty relaxed on the sideline. Coach Luganville pointed out guard against complacency. How do you do that?
Well, I don't think anybody's relaxed over here. So everybody knows they were down last week, came back and won the game. So we know we're still in for a dogfight, and there's a lot of time left. Go! Orange 19!
Drive started on their own 27. Pulaski up top. James Hunden is the intended receiver. Incomplete as Ron Carpenter and Reggie Durden had good coverage.
Here we go, Mike.
Mike.
Not a strong throw by Pulaski on that play. That thing fluttered. He's going into the wind here in L.A.
Give me a 30, Oscar. Here we go.
Strong left, 30 Oscar on gunner. Ready?
I actually questioned where he threw that ball in the double coverage. They're playing cover 2 over there, giving Durden some help. Ron Carpenter covering the outside deep third of the field for Los Angeles.
Second and 10 now. Little less ambitious pass. That's the San Francisco offense in a nutshell, and what gave it its success all season, a completion of 4 yards out to Sean Manuel. They've been criticized at times, have the Demons, for not throwing downfield more.
Alley on 2, ready?
And because of that, one of the things Mike told us yesterday is that they have to take some shots. They have to work on their vertical passing game and get open a little bit, in addition to being physical.
19!
They're 0 for 2 on third down conversion so far. There's a conversion. Great grab, a very athletic move by Jimmy Cunningham. A gain of 11, first down San Francisco.
Great reaction to the football. So difficult to catch that when you're running away from it and you have to turn your torso in the other direction.
Shields and Yarnell in attendance here today at the LA Coliseum. Fabulous to see them.
Orange 90!
Cunningham now with 4 receptions on the afternoon. That's Kelvin Anderson again. Not much on the ground. Jeff Russell there to stop the run.
Well, Russell came on a blitz that time, read the handoff perfectly, followed him right into the line and stopped him for a short gain.
But at least it wasn't a negative game. I like the San Francisco drive. This is, in my opinion, their best of the game so far. They haven't shot themselves in the foot. They're hitting the short stuff. They're at least giving Los Angeles a feel that they could go long if they need to, passing-wise.
Go! Blue 22, China!
This is the 7th play of the drive.
Blue 22, China!
Here comes a blitz. Anderson trying to get around it. Nothing doing on the corner. Big Dave Ritchie there to drop him for a 5-yard loss.
And just when the Demons think they got something going, that happens.
This is a matchup that the Los Angeles Xtreme love. Dave Ritchie against his man. In that case, there's Scott Adams, number 71.
A big 3rd and 14 now for San Francisco. But it's awfully tough to stick to your short passing game plan when you're constantly in 15, 16, nothing deficit situations. They're going to pass it. Flags on the play. Pulaski looking for a man downfield, running for his life. He gets it away, and it's picked off by Jeff Russell.
Except that
we'll see if it comes back due to the flag.
Pretty sure it will.
I think Jim Skipper's going to get a break here.
No, 3rd and 10. 97. All right, we're going to take that penalty. 97. Offside defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
What a break for Jim Skipper. Ramondo Stallings was offsides.
Talk about San Francisco digging into its bag of tricks. That's one of them. It's been their best offensive play, is Mike Pulaski's cadence at the line of scrimmage and inflection, able to draw LA defenders off sides.
Go! Okay, 90! He's coming! 90!
Another shot at a long 3rd down conversion. Pulaski's got a man wide open. Jimmy the Jet, first down, San Francisco.
And how big is that penalty now?
San Francisco and Mike Pulaski have been very successful. That straight drop back, that 3-step drop, 5-step drop, staying within the tackles and allowing Cunningham to work against The LA defensive backs, that time he split the difference between Clifton Abraham.
Injury timeout on the field with San Francisco driving. We'll be right back.
LA's Jeff Russell, one of the keys to their defense, having to leave the field and go into the locker room to be x-rayed. Here's what happened. Number 20 covering Jimmy Cunningham, the San Francisco wide receiver, and he rolls over. It looked like his ankle right there. But they are saying a sprained knee.
Wow, and that is certainly not good news for Los Angeles. Russell having a great year and having a great game. They like the matchup. Al Luganville told us he liked it yesterday. Already had paid him dividends, but they'll be without Russell for the rest of this one, quite possibly. Out of a shotgun, Mike Pawlowski has come alive in the second quarter. That one's incomplete.
Bad throw by Mike Pawlowski, but he had plenty of pressure in his face in the form of number 96, Jamal Duff.
Okay, here we go, Mike. Okay. Give me Queen's left nasty. Okay, give me a 0 mouse, go quick count.
Go Queen's left nasty, 0 mouse on gunner. Ready?
Tell the nasty get wide.
Check OB! Check OB!
The 10th play of the drive for San Francisco, their longest of the game so far.
Gunner. Go!
They'll try it on the ground, and that's a positive gainer for Kelvin Anderson, one of the few he's been able to run off here today. Del McGee with the stop. Of the 9 running plays San Francisco has tried today, 4 of them have resulted in a loss or no gain.
Well, they've done their best when they run straight forward between the tackles and not tried to run wide.
Field goal alert, field goal alert.
Jim Skipper telling Mike Panasuk to get ready for the field goal, but they want and they need 6.
Pawlowski's going to hang it up into the corner. He's got man-on-man coverage. Lamont Evans is there to pick it off. They say that he was out of bounds.
I tell you what, Mike Pawlowski got away with one there.
He hung that into double coverage.
Take a look at this again. It looked like Lamont Evans had made the play, but the officials ruled him out of bounds.
Coming from his safety position, and Mike throwing off his back foot can't generate enough power. He'd like to really have thrown that ball out of bounds.
Replay confirms a good call. This will be a 44-yarder for Mike Panasuk.
Huddle up! Huddle up!
And a timeout on the field. Panasuk will have some time to think about it. San Francisco needs some points. Down 15 zip.
Right, we're going to go so big. Yeah. Then I'm going to go back and talk to them. Right. Excellent.
Moments ago, Jeff Russell was put in the soft cast and escorted into the Los Angeles locker room. They will be without their outstanding linebacker for the rest of this one.
And they are saying torn ACL.
Boy. Again, this will be a 44-yarder for Mike Panasuk. This will be his longest of the season. He was 2 for 2 last week.
Oh, not even close. He didn't even get that 10 feet up in the air.
The LA defense holds again. They are 2.5 minutes away from 10 consecutive shutout quarters.
You know, it's always easy to second guess, but that was a long field goal into the wind. Mike and Matt, I'd have gone for it on the 4th down. Tried to get the first down.
I think you're right, Jesse.
Late.
That was just a plain bad kick on the part of Panasuk.
You got caught. Dale, you got caught.
We got caught. Yeah. Unplug now. Just put the nipples down. I know it, but.
So Los Angeles takes over. Maddox back to throw. Got a man wide open. Complete to Damon Gibson and a first down, LA.
Mike, the wind conditions are pretty severe down here. Was it the wind or was it blocked? Just mishit it? What?
I think the guy that blocked, I think it just caught the ground a little bit and missed it.
What is your range out here today?
It depends which way we're going here. It looks like the wind's kind of swirling, so I can't really tell.
Well, rough attempt for the former drama teacher from Lebanon, Indiana. 2-minute warning. First half, $1 million on the line. We'll be right back. 2-minute warning at the Los Angeles Coliseum, the $1 million championship game. The Orlando Rage cheerleaders, they sure thought they'd be doing this at home today. The Orlando Rage, one of the league's most dominant teams during the regular season. They got the Coach of the Year, Galen Hall. Congrats to him for that honor, but they were drubbed in upset fashion last week by San Francisco.
Well, Matt, had they not lost their quarterback, Jeff Brom, in about week 6 against this very same Los Angeles team, they might very well be playing this game in Orlando.
48!
Inside of 2 minutes of the first half, Saladin McCullough now making something out of nothing and close to a Los Angeles first down before James Williams got to him.
What a postseason he has had. Last week against the Enforcers, 167 yards.
First down, let's go Kings, 45. First down, right? 45.
Led the Pac-10 in rushing in '97. He wasn't drafted because of injuries and off-field concerns. Had a big monster game last week. Gain of 2 there. You know, he was constantly questioned for his off-the-field behavior and even his attire. He was always accused of being a gangbanger because of the way he dressed.
King Sale, Ray 8 on 1, right?
Bad luck as far as injuries. Right before the NFL Combine in the East-West Shrine game, he had an injury. He wasn't at full strength, and nobody gave him a shot.
A lot of people thought he was going to be a big star right here in this very same stadium. For USC, that was his dream. Schoolboy star at Pasadena's Muir High School. Had some eye-popping numbers.
Well,
he really made the most of his XFL opportunity.
And here's the great story about Saladin McCullough. You talk about a guy that just didn't get a look anywhere, and that includes most of the teams in the XFL. There were 11 players drafted after Saladin McCullough.
Number 464 out of like 475.
48!
3rd and 9. That pass complete to Darnell McDonald, and he runs for the first down. A gain of 18 for the big Smooth. Gotta wonder about clock management at this point now.
Well, it stopped there momentarily while they reset the chain. Now they call timeout.
LA burns their second of the quarter. We've seen lots of big hits here in the first half in the $1 million championship game.
Yeah, but you got 43 seconds. I know. Okay. Why don't we just go? What, Tommy?
Let's go. Let's go.
What do you got? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Let's go. S-Jack's wing. 50, Georgia S on 1, right? You got it?
Yeah. One of the things that bothered Tommy Maddox last week, he thought they got a little conservative when they got in the lead. Not conservative here. They got a pass play going.
Hanging it into the corner over Wendell Davis, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Darnell McDonald.
Crazy, man.
D-Mac wanting the interference call. Working against Wendell Davis, number 21, and that's a mismatch for the San Francisco Demons in a matchup that LA loves. Davis just 5'10", D-Mac 6'3".
All of a sudden, this is starting to sound like a Wayans Brothers production on the field.
Good job. Go! 48! 48!
Second and 10, clock at 39 seconds till half. That one's complete. They got it to him this time. The big Smooth Darnell McDonald.
I shake them off.
That man can talk some junk.
Clock. Stop.
And they stop the clock.
I tell you, I'm going to kick him next time. You better not call it. Well, then call it.
Gain of 14 yards on the 30.
Well, let's take a look and see what perhaps Tommy's chirping about. This is the last reception to Darnell McDonald. But there was nothing objectionable on the receiving end. Maybe Tommy took a shot after he threw the football.
Fake 45. Go! 48!
Oh, look out. Maddox dumps it off. It's incomplete. He got rid of it just before Jermaine Miles said hello.
Oh, now we get a penalty.
What's that on? I was talking to my guy. I didn't even say anything.
Must have said something, Tommy.
52.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 8 on the offense, 15 yards.
Oh, Tommy, can you hear me?
I was talking to Jerry.
Bit of larceny in that look right there.
Yeah.
I can't talk to my guys.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
You can't.
What was that on? I was talking to my guy.
That's that Lieutenant Columbo act, you know, make him think you're dumb. Not going to work that time. The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
48! 48!
Still 3rd and goal for the Xtreme. That pass complete to Darnell McDonald once again. Boy, Wendell Davis on the hit.
This ought to spark another conversation.
I'm killing you, dog. I'm killing you. I just took you for a post. Look at the score.
This is what Darnell McDonald's talking about. He's talking to Wendell Davis. Here's Jose Cortez, field goal attempt.
Old Big 12 rivals.
This is from the 34. Jose's been good from 37 out. Taking full advantage of the width of the goalpost that time.
He has not missed a field goal since week 5.
Money. The guy is money, and he knows it. LA looking for the money today. They're 2 quarters plus away from a cool $1 million. Maybe that guy buy a new suit.
Anybody love LA football out there? Here we go.
Coach Skipper, we talked about you guys being behind. It was paramount that you'd not have to trail by this many points, especially at this juncture of the game. What can you guys do to turn this around? I know you've been in this position before.
Well, we got a whole another half of football left to go. I mean, it's 18 points. They score 18, we can score 18. You know, I mean, we had an unfortunate bad break on the quick kick. I mean, the guy fumbles it, and we all react to it, and he picked it up and ran it in.
Offense is having a little trouble. Would you ever consider going back to your guy who led you back last week?
No, we got first half, and it's really not the offense, okay? I mean, the guy run the ball back, and they're scoring. They have earned their points except for that quick kick that they ran all the way back.
There is the winning quarterback from last week for San Francisco, Pat Barnes. He and Mike Pulaski are best friends off the field, and they say of each other, I know it kills him when he sits on the sidelines. Little dribbler for Jimmy Cunningham to return, trying to get around the corner. And finally run out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
You know, Mike Pulaski has so much respect for Pat Barnes that even last week he wanted to play against the Rage. He wanted to warm up on the sidelines just to work his arm out, because knowing they would probably play this week, but he didn't want to do it because he didn't want Pat to think they were warming somebody up in the bullpen and replacing him.
There you go. Okay. Ranger! Go gun. Queens right nasty. 64 pilot onto ready.
San Francisco with 2 timeouts left, 14 seconds left until half.
Throw the bomb, you might get a penalty.
$1 million on the line, why not?
Let the game.
90! Run it! Hut! Hut!
Oh, they're going to call that one.
Yeah, all kinds of motion. Dave Ritchie got a running head start from around that end.
That's called anticipating the snap and not keeping your eye on the ball.
Ritchie goes to Mike Pulaski. You got me.
Number 90, 5 yards. The down remains first.
Got me.
So now 1st and 5 with 14 seconds left for San Francisco. You know, we talk about Pulaski against Maddox. These guys met each other quite a bit in college in the Pac-10. Pulaski at Cal, Maddox at UCLA. And that was a series that Pulaski had always dominated. In fact, Maddox was 0-5 against Pulaski until week 10 of the XFL season. Picked off. Oh, big mistake, Ron Carpenter. He's still on his feet. Kelvin Anderson takes him down. 2 seconds left on the clock, and LA's going to have a shot. A 45-yard pick in return. He darn near sprang that thing all the way.
Well, Joe, what do you think?
And this is in Cortez's range. He can hit it.
Well, we said take a shot, but this is why some coaches think not. That, the interception.
Well, that was just a bad throw, Mike.
Offensive coordinator Jesse Ventura is 0 for 2 this afternoon for those of you scoring at home.
Yeah, but the Twins won.
Yeah, they're going to bring the field goal unit on the field.
The impeccable Mr. Cortez, 2 for 2, 37-34, and the wind at his back right now.
Oh, he can make this if he gets leg into it. He's got the leg to do it if he makes good contact.
Case for harm. Oh, hey, Mike, what are you doing? Mike, you want to put him back deep? Put him back deep? Yeah. All right, go ahead. Kevin. He missed
the field goal. Can I run him?
Yes. Okay.
Time out to 2 in a row?
No.
Hey, if he misses, I'm going. Hurry up.
And as Cortez attempts his field goal, you wonder if Jim Skipper might change his mind after that bad throw by Mike Pulaski and indeed go to Pat Barnes. There it is.
From 50 yards out. There was only one kick from a longer distance all season in the XFL.
Up 21-0 at the half, Al, but with the way San Francisco comes back, perhaps they have you just where they want you.
That's hard. I know they've been down 16. We got 30 more minutes, Fred, to play to win it all, and that's all I'm focused on right now. I don't care really about San Francisco. I care about Los Angeles and how we play.
How much does the loss of Jeff Russell hurt this team?
Hurts it a bunch. He's just an all-around playmaker, but we'll get our other guys on there, and somebody will come up big and make plays for us.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Down 21-0. We got you where we want you. Somewhere Phil Villapiano is smiling. Halftime in LA, all extreme. We'll be back after this word from your local NBC stations.
How much time do we have?
You know.
Hey, make sure you stay on the side of the field that you can plant on your good foot.
I'm good. Don't even worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Let's go. I got all day to heal.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Hey, man, I just want to make sure, you know what I mean? Because you're still giving on it.
Yeah, I know. I know how to cut off this one. Trust me, I'll break it down.
Okay.
All right, back at halftime as we prepare for the second half kick. San Francisco really with their backs to the wall. Jermaine Copeland and company, that much trumpeted LA offensive attack has been everything that we promised in the first half.
To make matters worse, Los Angeles gets the ball to start the second half.
And all of a sudden, as we've lost the sunlight here at halftime, guys, it's become windy and cold. You're looking at veteran cornerback Dwayne Harper at 35 years old after over 10 years in the NFL. A guy who decided to play in the XFL this year because he wanted to win a championship, not because he needed the extra glue, not because he was some guy that couldn't give up football. He wanted to win a championship and find out what it was like.
He got close, went to the Super Bowl, but didn't win it. The power of the ring, a powerful thing.
Damon Gibson got a huge block and takes it back across the 20. That's where LA takes over to start the second half. Miller genuine draft first half stats rather. Time of possession was San Francisco. Everywhere else it was just about a clean sweep for LA, including a big discrepancy in passing yards.
Let's go King's Harry, 48, Tommy, on one, right?
Tommy Maddox was 10 of 18 for 134 yards and a TD in the first half.
It's a big series for the Frisco defense right here. They got to set the tone.
Oh, Jesse, I got to correct you right there. If you live in San Francisco, you never say Frisco. It's the first time I've corrected you all year, and it was on something completely insignificant. We'll talk about that later. We mentioned Dwayne. Don't look at me like that, man. Don't look at me like that. Dwayne Harper wanted to play this year to win a championship, as we told you earlier. That's what this is all about.
Don.
I was telling the guys earlier, I started playing football at the age of 8, and I've never won a championship, game. I think that would just, solidify my career. It would be the thing that I've always dreamed of, being on a championship team.
Going to come from behind if he's going to get it done tonight. Little handoff, draw play to Saladin McCullough. He blows through the first wave of defenders. There he is. Muir High School in Pasadena representing. Knocked out by Wendell Davis. A gain of 32.
And a late flag for hitting him out of bounds. They're going to probably tack on 15 more.
Y'all can't stop me.
And with all due respect to Chicago's John Avery, over the past 4 weeks of the season, this man, number 24, Saladin McCullough, has been the best back in the XFL. Coming into this game, 237 yards rushing into the previous 2 games.
And this is hardly the way Jim Sniffer envisioned starting the second half.
Here's the whack and the personal foul. There it is. It's that right hand to the helmet.
Wendell Davis, the culprit, and the sign of a team that gets a little desperate when they start committing fouls like that.
Money. 49!
Big gainer and a penalty tacked on. Hits back to McCullough. He crosses the 30 after a gain of 3. We talked about how Tommy Maddox was grateful for the XFL for an opportunity to get back into the football world. How about Saladin McCullough?
We talked to him the other day, extremely humble after all the stuff that he has gone through with his personal life.
I heard that if he wins today, he's so happy and grateful he's going to give his check to Vince McMahon.
48!
On 2nd and 8 now. Maddox with time to set up shot. He finds Darnell McDonald. That's been a familiar theme. McDonald and Copeland on display again tonight.
Incidentally, that $1 million divided 45 ways comes out to about $22,222.22 per man. Does Vince need that?
Roughly.
Only a graduate of Northwestern could figure that out off the top of his head.
This is on Dwayne Harper.
For what?
Picking on the veteran.
Oh! 48!
A 1st and 10 now for Los Angeles.
48!
Inside the 20. Maddox looking towards the end zone. That one's picked off by Toby Wright.
They're going to call him down, but it's still a pick. It's a big turnover for San Francisco.
The former Las Vegas Outlaw comes up with a big stop on defense for the Demons.
First poor throw that Tommy Maddox has thrown in about 4 weeks.
Nickel!
And even though it looked like he was eyeballing him all the way, he never saw Toby Wright, the safety.
So San Francisco takes over deep in enemy territory. They begin the drive at the 2. Coach Loogie watching.
On a post.
We'll be right back.
So far inside, I want to go or come back. How about race 7?
Bring it loud for your defense.
Tommy Maddox seated next to Scott Milanovic, the man on his right. Milanovic, incidentally, was the first ever draft pick in the history of the XFL. He happens to share time with Tommy Maddox, and Milo doesn't get much of it. Maddox, of course, as we talked about earlier, the league's MVP. That's Kelvin Anderson, stopped by Matt Kenley after no gain.
Try to throw a bomb right here.
Yeah.
And as much as we've talked about the LA offense, let's give due credit to the LA defense, who has played exceptionally well in that first half.
10 consecutive quarters without giving up an offensive touchdown.
Pulaski out of the shotgun from the back of the end zone. Get out of the way. Gets smoked as that one's incomplete. Matt Kenley came and put him on his rear end.
Just in case you wanted to know what it was like to be in number 9's shoes.
Come on.
3rd and long. Again on a shotgun from the end zone. Pulaski rolling in the corner of the end zone. Dumps it off, incomplete. Nothing going on, backed up from their own 2.
And a big win in Mike's face, and you start to wonder,
You got to pull him. I think you go to Barnes at this point after you give up the ball. You gave him one series here. He did nothing with it. You got to do something, Jim Skipper, to spark this offense.
And also the signal to your team that, hey, we're not giving up.
Mike Panasuk to punt from his own end zone. A little squibber. That's the last thing San Francisco needed. Reggie Durden picks it up. And LA's going to take over in wonderful field position yet again.
We do have a penalty flag, though. We do have a flag. We got to see what the flag is.
Kicking team, player number 54, illegally downfield on the kick. 5 yards from the end of the run.
Man.
First down.
Nothing going right for the Demons here tonight. LA on offense again. Regis not here, fortunately. Well, Mike Pulaski threw for almost 300 yards in their first matchup, the Xtreme and the Demons. Those are the numbers tonight.
Coach, maybe Mike has not been in the most advantageous of situations, but you're in desperation time here. When do you have to give this team a boost and possibly go to Pat?
Well, at some point in time, we got to make that decision. You know, we discussed it with the offensive coordinator and whatnot. So we're going to have to make a decision here. We're going to let it go and see what's happening here. But, I mean, hey, you're backed up at the -2. That ain't a good spot. You know, the guy's got to hurry things. And he knows he's in the end zone, so you can't hold it that extra time. So, we'll make that decision somewhere. I mean, it's got to cross your mind. That's just football.
Thanks, Coach.
Saladin McCullough, hand up the middle. Chops away for 6 more yards on what is already an impressive line.
It's great on short, when we need to first down or get a completion, get positive yards. It's been good. You can't forget about screens, too. Screens looks good,
Pat Barnes is the type of quarterback.
He's got to be the eternal optimist saying anything looks good right now.
Well, when he's on the sidelines, he doesn't just hold the clipboard. This guy is more into a game as the backup quarterback than many quarterbacks that play as a starter. Maddox looking for the corner. Jermaine Copeland, touchdown, Xtreme! A flag on the play. We'll see if it brings the touchdown back. If not, it's an even bigger San Francisco hold. Penalties on San Francisco, decline, touchdown counts. Jermaine Copeland with a 19-yarder. How much fun does Jermaine Copeland have on the field? Guy is just having the time of his life.
Dig that.
And it's just beginning.
Hell no.
Former Tennessee star. Getting a lot of limelight these days. They're lined up for a 1-point conversion drive. Pitch back to McCullough around the corner, and it's good. Everything going right for Los Angeles today.
Tommy Maddox with the play fake, knowing Copeland all the way, who was working a one-on-one with Dwayne Harper, who had to commit pass interference just a bit on that little hitch route there.
coming into Los Angeles, bringing the aerial attack too. Football, you bet. 28-0 Los Angeles style. Jose Cortez set to kick with 9:16 left here in the third. Ryan Roberson and James Hunden back to receive for the Demons. This is James Hunden. Reverse. Jimmy the Jet looking for someplace to go. Ricky Parker there to make the tackle on special teams.
Jermaine, you're making a statement on the field, but before the game you made a statement as well, talking about Mike Pulaski starting a quarterback for San Francisco and how pleased you were with their decision to start Pulaski.
Well, I mean, Pat Barnes really took him past Orlando, and that's what we was kind of looking forward to, but they decided to let Pulaski do the start. Hey, that's what they do. That's their business. We got to worry about ourselves.
So now you backed off a little bit.
I ain't worried about it myself. You know, I'm just worried about what's going on with me. I'm trying to do this thing right out here in L.A., trust me.
You know, and I think he's looking for a movie deal is what he's doing. Continues to be a rough day for Mike Pulaski.
I tell you, when he gets under duress, the mechanics get shaky. He throws off the back foot. Happens to every quarterback. You got to wonder when Jim Skippers is going to make that decision.
I think he'll.
Yeah.
I think he'll make the switch if he doesn't do anything here. He's got to.
And then it may be too late.
Pulaski was hoping to make this game the capper on what has been a big week in his life.
What on earth was that? I think that was supposed to be a shovel pass,
yeah.
That never developed because the receiver never got out front of him. You're in trouble as a quarterback if you roll out like that and you're ahead of your receiver, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Dave Ritchie down after making the tackle.
At least he didn't pitch it.
We're talking about Pulaski, guys, and the fact that he was trying to make this, or hoping that this would be the final day of a great week for him. His wife Tracy gave birth to the couple's first son. Young Casey was born during the week, and Mike was hoping to be able to show Casey tape of this game and saying, "See, this was the week you were born, son."
You might say, never play football. Never played football, Casey.
Yeah. Not only that, but poor little Casey's going to have to get his college tuition somewhere else because it doesn't look like he's going to put none in the bank today.
We talked to Mike Pulaski yesterday, and regardless of what happens here in the $1 million game, he'll think about next season as a player. He'll go back into the announce booth for Cal Berkeley football and take it one day at a time.
Go! White 19! White 19! Set!
Third and 11. That's been the story all night long.
Intercepted.
Picked off. Ron Carpenter. He had a pick in week 10 versus San Francisco. Another for him. A bunch of big hits on the field. He fumbles a football.
They're going to call that a forward lateral, I bet.
What the Dave Casper is going on out there?
Pulaski going back here, firing over the middle, and again throwing into double, almost triple coverage.
And then getting nailed trying to make the tackle. I tell you what, Michael is one tough guy.
No doubt. No doubt.
And he deserves all the credit in the world for getting San Francisco to this championship game, but he is having a tough time.
It was two, wasn't it? He said he read alert. Yeah, it's 2 man. I thought he was just going to beat the back and come across his face. Huh? Yeah, me too. I thought he was going to beat him right now.
Now, Pulaski plays with a lot of heart. Regardless of what's on the scoreboard, the guy goes 110%. Good penetration in the backfield, but Saladin McCullough still on his feet.
He went from a 7-yard loss to a 7-yard gain with sheer effort.
That was a short call.
I think that was the lady from Weakest Link on the other line.
Listen, you are our quarterback, period. Got it? Bang, bang, change, don't worry about it. We just see if we can get a spark from that. It's everybody. It ain't just you, neither. Got it? Hear me? I love you.
Saladin McCullough up the middle. Ripping away more yardage.
Coach Jim Skipper saying kind of what we were saying up here. Mike, you've had a great year. You're still our quarterback, but we got to go for a change.
You know, that was a nice exchange there as well. Some mutual admiration. This is how that conversation ended.
It ain't just you, neither. Got it? Hear me? I love you too, baby. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying?
That's why they like playing for Jim Skipper.
You bet. And that's why everybody respects Mike Pawlowski.
48! 48!
First and 10 once again for Maddox and the Xtreme. He's hit as he throws, but it's still complete. There's a big smooth again. Darnell McDonald, a gain of 16. Another LA first down.
Mike, we heard, obviously, Coach, they're going to go with Pat right now. Said to you a second ago. Tough position for you to be in, but do you think it's the right move?
Well, you know, we're not getting it done on offense if Pat can give us a spark. When I say give him a spark, he's a hell of a quarterback. He helped us. He won the last one. Let's see if he can get us out of this.
Is there any one moment you thought to yourself, well, you know what, this is not going the way we need to. We need to make a change.
No, I never give up, never give in. I still haven't. 48! 48!
McCullough looking to dance behind his line. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
He has been fun to watch the last couple of weeks.
You know, Mike, this is exactly what LA needs right now. When you got a tough back like McCullough, you give him the ball, you let him run the football, it keeps the clock running, and you start getting closer to that payoff.
Absolutely. Not a bad average of the afternoon, huh?
48!
You know, last week prior to the playoff game with Chicago, Laterio Rochelle, who was one of the receivers here with the Xtreme, said he had a dream that Saladin McCullough was going to rush for 124 yards. This was the day before the game.
Get out of town.
McCullough ends up rushing for 164. But, I mean, they should
look
to...
You know what that tells you, Matt? Never believe what you dream.
I want to talk to Laterio Rochelle after the game. There he is, and ask him,
the stock market.
Take it down to Vegas. Make myself a little sugar. Laterio, who's going to win the NBA Finals? And don't listen to what Jesse says about the Timberwolves.
That's called ching, Matt.
48!
On 3rd and 10, Maddox back to pass. Dumps it off to Frank Leatherwood, who scored a touchdown tonight.
And a late flag coming in.
A little extracurricular on the field, too. They got a little brawl going on with Eric England, the big defensive end. That's Chris Brimmer
Just relax a second.
of Los Angeles.
Let's go. Separate. Let's go. Go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
What up, Chris? He is hacked off.
Got to sort this one out and see what they come up with.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 99 on the defense. Half the distance to the penalty. First down.
They call it on Eric England.
It's all Ho. Come on, baby. Come on. You got it. Twice, Ho.
A lot of frustration out there, Mike, and that's what's showing up right now.
They have not been able to get to Tommy Maddox all afternoon long. That front four for the San Francisco Demons, which we underscored at the top of this telecast, they were the key. Put some pressure, get some heat in Tommy's face, and they've been unable to do it.
How about that? I'm sitting here settling people down. That's an oxymoron.
How about that, huh?
Maddox the peacemaker.
Travis won.
Now, they gave Tommy 15 yards for just saying something, and they didn't throw nothing there for the extracurricular stuff. A little bit of bias there.
Come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. I got him. I got him. Hey, come here. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen. Listen to me. The officials have said they're watching them tight. Don't do anything stupid. Anything that they do, we're going that way. Hey, man, I can get him on the goal. Tommy!
Wide bunch 42. Wide bunch 42.
Let's go. Wide bunch. Wide bunch 42 on one. Right?
Tommy Maddox's center, Jonathan Heimbach, says Tommy doesn't talk too much, and when he does, we all listen to him.
How can he say that? He's talking every game we've done.
Not to his teammates, though.
Delayed draw to Saladin McCullough. Inside the 5. Wendell Davis among those on the tackle for San Francisco.
Go bunch. Rocket Florida special. On one. Race. Press it. This way. Darnell. Darnell.
What is it, Tommy?
Rocket Florida special.
How good has this man been?
Go. 48.
And he's running like the game is still tied.
And they're in McCullough territory here inside the 5. Pass is complete to Darnell McDonald.
No, that's a good call by the official because the ball never got in the end zone. His leg might have been in there, but the ball never crossed the plane.
Do that again, man.
Trying to work on Wendell Davis again on that corner.
I tell you, D-Mac got away with one there. He pushed Wendell off and came back for the football. Created the separation himself with his arm. You can see the discrepancy in size and why it's been a huge matchup problem for San Francisco.
McCullough dropped for a loss. That was Greg Williams that penetrated the backfield. Finally, San Francisco's able to stop him inside of scoring territory in the red zone there. Here comes a field goal unit for Los Angeles. And that money former roofer from Mexico, a guy who's kicked barefoot for much of the season, got the shoes on tonight, Jose Cortez. He's been good from 34, 37, and 50. His longest this season tonight.
I can't imagine him missing this one.
That's what they call a chip shot. Football, you bet. 31-0 Los Angeles. A lot of pressure on Pat Barnes to try and come back late. We'll be right back. A familiar sight from the 1984, and for some older viewers, the 1932 Olympics. The Olympic flame is lit here at the LA Memorial Coliseum. They only light that bad boy on very special occasions.
Well, the older guys better turn the sound up if they were here for the 32 Olympics.
Jose Cortez will kick things off with his Xtreme on top, 31-zip. James Hunden and Jimmy Cunningham back to receive. A bouncer, and LA has a chance to recover that as it hit one of the up men for San Francisco. LA ball.
And Barnes still won't get a chance. Can you believe that?
And I'm not sure at this juncture in the game Pat wants the chance.
Laterio Rochelle, the soothsayer, the Nostradamus of the Xtreme, the guy that recovered.
Mike, do you use the standard ploy here after a big turnover? Do you go deep with the first play? You know, isn't that what normally you do? You try to strike quick.
Well, let's hope that Al Luganville has a little more respect for Jim Skipper than that. I'm sure he does.
There's the replay right off the old knee. Hard to tell who comes up with it, but we know it's an Xtreme player that gets it because they got the ball.
Sean Stuckey is the injured Los Angeles Xtreme player down after that special teams play.
Hey, Pat Barnes may not get his chance for quarterback, but
CYA.
yeah, why not put Scott Milanovic in?
I would at this point. I'd make the switch right now.
When you come back from sideline.
You got rid of it all year. Keep doing it.
We'll be right back. That's Los Angeles linebacker Sean Stuckey, the injured player on that last play. A couple of casualties tonight for LA, including their outstanding linebacker Jeff Russell, who was taken off the field in the first quarter.
First carry for Rashawn Sheehy.
Rashawn Sheehy, the former Washington Husky, among their all-time leading rushers. Another Pac-10 man there, Mike Pawlowski. A rough night for the Polish rifle.
Better days as a Cal quarterback here at the Coliseum. In fact, that loss in Week 10, the first time he's ever suffered defeat here in LA.
48.
Laterio Rochelle, the guy in high motion. Maddox still out there slinging. And that one's incomplete. Jermaine Copeland just laughing and smiling his way closer to $1 million payday. Dwayne Harper with coverage for San Francisco.
So many of these guys on this field here, Matt, have not won championships at any level. High school, Pop Warner, college, and for a guy like Jermaine Copeland, he did taste a little championship with the Tennessee Volunteers. This is one sweet feeling, especially when the hay is in the barn.
Back there. We can run it out.
Which championship do you think he'll get more money for? The Tennessee one or today?
Oh, boy, what do you mean by that?
Hey, we're entertaining, guys.
Time expires on the third quarter. 15 minutes of football left. I see Gold LeMay, I think, and Margaret from Bye Bye Birdie. Either that or the suit that Elvis wore on the cover of 50, 100,000 Elvis fans can't be wrong. All right, little too non-sequitur. 3rd and 8. Tommy Maddox still out there, going long down the middle. He's got a man with single coverage, incomplete, looking for Darnell McDonald.
And there could have been a flag on that. I think that was a gift from the referees right there.
What was that?
Oh, Tommy, can you hear me?
Now, how do they not throw a flag on that, baby?
Yeah, that looked like steer wrestling in the National Finals rodeo.
Darnell's got a little bit of a complaint there.
That's the first 3 and out by Los Angeles all night.
You know, 5 out of LA's 8 drives have actually started in San Francisco territory tonight.
Just about any way you slice it, it's been all extreme.
Oh,
Jimmy Cunningham
let it go.
Watches it bounce.
Punches into the end zone for a touchback.
Hey, Rip.
Well, Pat Barnes has been inserted into the offensive mix now by Jim Skipper just to try and put something up on the board here and start a comeback attempt late in the ball game. Little screen pass to Kelvin Anderson. A first down for San Francisco.
Well, that's getting a little something started. The difference between Mike Pawlowski and Pat Barnes. He's a little more mobility in the part of Pat.
Well, and I think he's probably got a little better throwing arm due to the injury, too, Mike.
Sally Gunner.
Pawlowski with the bad shoulder, and Barnes doesn't have that also.
He was 16 of 26 in the win versus Orlando last week. That one was thrown incomplete.
You know, Barnes, I'm sure, wants to be the good soldier and try to lead them to at least a couple of touchdowns for respectability's sake. But deep down inside, I don't think there's any reason why he wants to be in this game.
That last pass looked like he was throwing at the mascot like in Varsity Blues.
Or back to Pawlowski just as, hey, Mike, you get back in.
Go! 319! 319! Shut up!
Fumble. That was Kelvin Anderson. That was like the Ghost of the Post, Statue of Liberty, flea, flicker, double, triple, reverse secret probation play.
That was right. 64.
One of the problems Barnes had last week was trying to run an option play. I don't think that's on him as much as it is Kelvin Anderson.
Well, that play never was doomed from the beginning with the penetration that the Los Angeles Express had on that play.
All right, there it is right there. That was the first. I'll give you a mulligan on that, okay? I thought I was going to be the guy to call him the Express this season.
Oh, I did. God, yeah, that's right.
He dropped an Express.
Steve Young, Don Klosterman, where are you? Oops.
Hey, I'm on the camera. They got me on the camera. Those lipsticks.
A chapstick moment.
Big smooth mugging for the camera a little bit. Mike Panasuk on to punt. It's a live ball at the 47, but Panasuk's really had a tough day kicking the ball today. And a quick tackle made on Damon Gibson after receiving the punt. All LA at the Coliseum tonight. We'll be right back. Back at the Los Angeles Coliseum, 31-0 Xtreme in the XFL's $1 million game.
48.
It has been all LA. Tommy Maddox, the league's MVP, still out there directing the offense, and Saladin McCullough continues to run roughshod over the Demon defense. First down on a pickup of 20. McCullough now over 100 yards of offense and perhaps en route to MVP honors tonight, guys.
It's either him, Tommy Maddox, or that offensive line of the Los Angeles Xtreme.
Well, you know they ain't going to give it to the O-line.
Well, we can change things, though. Why don't we start a trend?
No, you.
I really thought that way back when this might be the vehicle for which offensive linemen would finally receive their due. Hand to McCullough, drop for a loss this time.
Well, Pat, they didn't show Mike a whole lot of love when he was in there. How tough is LA's defense? I mean, obviously they want this thing badly. Can you make it respectable?
You know, you got to give them credit. They played well, but a lot of things have not gone well for us offensively, defensively, special teams. It's tough breaks, but that's why we play the game, and hopefully we can end it, on a good note here and roll into next year.
48.
Second and 11 now.
He was the toast of the town in San Francisco week one when his 33-yard field goal beat these same Los Angeles Xtreme team.
Did Maddox need that?
On the blitz, they dump it off to Saladin McCullough, who dances out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Everything going right for LA. And Tommy Maddox,
Congratulations.
done for the night.
Thanks, folks. Thank you.
The XFL's MVP, and with good reason.
Good job. Good job, great. 44.
So Scott Milanovich now under center, and his first pass is incomplete. Milo, as we mentioned.
Good job, Bo. Great job today, Bo.
Good job.
Hold on, I got a sleeve.
Hey, Matt, did you notice Luganville put on a rain jacket?
That's a veteran move right there. That is a veteran move, and it's not because it's raining.
44. Coming. 44.
Speaking of Scott Milanovich, again, he was the XFL's first ever draft pick. Didn't get a whole lot of playing time this year because Tommy Maddox, who would go on to MVP honors, was awfully hard to sit down.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier about Al Luganville, his ability to identify talent, his strongest suit, picking not one but two good quarterbacks. Milanovich surely would have been a starter with many of the teams in this league, in addition to the same Xtreme team. Finding gems like, Copeland and Darnell McDonald were late picks in the XFL draft.
Jermaine Copeland, by the way, would have been a regional pick by the Memphis Maniacs. Who was losing on that one?
Yeah, they picked four other receivers beside him, and Al Luganville, knowing talent, said, hey, baby, this guy can play for me anytime.
He and Darnell McDonald, the most prolific receivers duo in the XFL.
Great job. Good job, Bob. Great year, baby. Great year.
Yeah.
Great playing with you.
Hey, yeah.
Good job, Tank. You all right, Bubba? Great playing with you, all right?
You too, baby.
Great year. Hey, that's a great run, little Memphis.
Well, here's Jose Cortez now to try for his 5th field goal of the night and attempting to break his own XFL record. He hit 4 at Las Vegas.
Oh, bad snap.
It won't happen here. Noel Prefontaine is scrambling.
Intercepted.
Throws and it's picked off.
What do you think, Mike? Could that be the thing that turns it around?
Yeah. Big John DeWitt came up with the pick. It's not going to erase the smile off Tommy Maddox's face.
Yeah, Jesse, it's a 15-possession game.
31-0 Los Angeles here in the 4th quarter. The XFL's $1 million game, then a runaway for Los Angeles. Saladin McCullough already signing autographs.
Green 88!
The equivalent of the fat lady has sung.
Pat Barnes passing off to Carl Anderson. He bobbles, and it's picked off by Leamon Evans.
Well, you know, everything went wrong for San Francisco, but I will say this for them. If I had to vote of who had the best fans in the XFL, I would give it to San Francisco. And let's give credit to the Demons, you know. They overcame some tough games late in the season to make it into the playoffs. They went into Orlando. They beat the favored team of the XFL, really, with the best record. So Jim Skipper can walk off and hold his head high for a very successful season, even though they lost this last one.
You bet.
Although, Jesse, I'm sure in Jim's wildest dreams, he never thought there'd be a recurrence of what happened in Week 10, and this is actually worse.
49!
Shut out 24-0 here 2 weeks ago. Rashawn Sheehy for a couple yards. Well, Jim Skipper, like the rest of the coaches in the XFL, as he told us yesterday, he's going to take a little time off.
And remember, Matt, San Francisco still got all 3 timeouts.
Right. That's an important factor here. Down 31-0 with just over 7.5 minutes left. That's Scott Adams.
Plus the 2-minute warning.
Scott Adams, a guy we talked about earlier in the telecast, and a guy who played tonight's in memory of his father. He's still wearing a bracelet on his wrist made from his father's work boot. He's used that to motivate him in whatever walk of life he chooses.
His dad, a real blue-collar guy who lost his battle with emphysema and cancer about 6 years ago, and toughest man that Scott's ever met in his life. Every time things get tough like this, he looks at that bootlace.
And he'll realize, looking at that there's more to life than a football game.
Absolutely.
Clock at 6:40 and ticking.
49!
Milo hands off to Sheehy. Back to the original line of scrimmage.
League MVP Tommy Maddox, this game firmly in hand, 31-0. What are your feelings and your emotions on capturing the first XFL title?
Well, you have a lot of feelings and emotions. You start every season hoping you have a shot at winning the championship, and to be able to play with these guys on this field at home in front of these fans and win it all, it was a great deal.
What is next for you, Tommy?
Right now, this is next for me. I don't care what's next. This is what we wanted to do, and I'm going to celebrate this one for a long time.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Stick around. We'll be right back. Demon cheerleaders still dancing, smiling, and raising the roof and carrying on, having a good old time. In fact, all XFL cheerleaders are here for this $1 million finale. One that has been thoroughly dominated by the LA Xtreme. Scott Milanovic in at QB, finds Jermaine Copeland the same way Tommy Maddox did all night. Inside the 10, a pickup of 24. Now, not even Jermaine Copeland could think of more superlatives for this one tonight.
Here we go. Trips, top 45. I want it.
Well, they opened up a can of whoop butt and never looked back, and you can only do so much trash talk, and after a while you realize that, just a better team.
Enough's enough. Even Rod Strickland shuts his mouth every once in a while. That's Rashawn Sheehy stopped at the line of scrimmage. You know, Jermaine Copeland told us before this thing ever started, prior to the opener, that he was looking forward to coming out to L.A., hanging out with his buddy Will Smith, and getting himself some love in the media. He wants a TV show, he wants a movie deal, he wants a recording contract, and a website.
He sounds like Judge Smales' kid heading to the hot dog stand.
He also said it's way too crowded out here. He doesn't like the freeways, and get me back to Tennessee. So will the real Jermaine Copeland please stand up?
You'll get nothing. We like it.
Rashawn Sheehy. Missed.
Oh, they got him.
Got an innocent bystander and a ball boy.
And an assistant.
There's somebody else coming.
That's poor execution of the Gatorade.
But you know what?
And that's the only thing they've done poorly tonight.
Al puts on a coat, not because it's cold, but because he knows he's going to get a bath. Take it like a man.
Make good TV for us, darn it.
You go this way. 70, yeah. Go.
Yeah, and pretend you're surprised and go, oh.
Yeah. Give us a little love.
44.
Third and goal for Milanovic now, hanging it into the corner. Jermaine Copeland can't stretch out for it. Let's break down just where this went wrong, Mike, Jesse.
Well, what you've got to do first is get someone to distract the coach. You've got to get someone in the coach's face before you do that, man.
Look at this classy move. He uses the kid as a defense mechanism.
the human shield. Like Saddam Hussein, the human shield.
You know, they'd be better off next time get two of the big linemen to pick Al up and stick him in there.
Or like they did when they clinched the Western Conference title, use Fred Rogan.
Right, absolutely.
44.
Here's Rashawn Sheehy. He's going to throw it. And it's caught by Laterio Richard. This is what you call kicking a corpse.
When's next year's LA San Francisco game in San Francisco?
Oh, there are going to be some marked men next time these two teams play each other. That's a lot to do when you're up by 31 inside of 5 minutes.
Now I can see giving Milanovic some time to throw the ball because he might well be the quarterback next year for the Los Angeles Xtreme, but that, I don't know.
And there's John Hanson, who tried to just break that thing up and say, I know you're home, I know you're winning, but come on, fellas.
Hey, Matt, I just figured it out why they did it. The over-under was 36.
Oh, my goodness. And that was Carl Hansen, by the way, that broke that up. This is Sheehy, and this is the PAT.
Sean Sheehy with the point conversion.
Al, you're up 31-0. And you pull a play like that. Was that pointed out?
Well, they called timeout. We were running the clock out. They called timeout. We're going to go and get as many points as we can now.
Al, before you go, nice movement on the Gatorade bucket. Now you put on the jacket to protect yourself, and then you ran away.
It was cold.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, we thought you put it on because you knew it was coming. Well, not again. There you go. I remember 2 weeks ago. Okay. All right.
Well, they almost had it timed out to get Rogan in there too.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Coach Luganville.
Hey, the hell with him. That's right.
With his son Tommy.
Great. I feel great for our staff, our players, all our families, everybody that's been involved in this. I just feel super.
It's been quite an odyssey putting this team together, winning in its initial season.
No question. No question. I just don't know what to say. I'm lost for words right now, and I just feel really good.
You know, that's odd because, Al, as long as I've known you, you're never at a loss for words.
I am now.
A thorough trumping by the Los Angeles Xtreme. They are en route to finishing the season, by the way, guys, with 3 consecutive shutouts.
Enforcers put 16 on the board last week.
Who's got the shirt?
But no offensive touchdowns did they give up.
James Hunden starting the kickoff return from his goal line and tackled at the 22. Well, for Tommy Maddox, the XFL has probably been the best thing to happen to his career since he signed up to enroll at UCLA some 9 years ago. And for a lot of other players, they can say the same thing. We've talked at great length tonight about guys like Rashawn Sheehy, who have resurrected their careers courtesy of the XFL. This league has given a lot of players a chance to play in front of a national audience, a chance to once again enjoy that team dynamic, a chance to make a little money doing something they like. Pat Barnes running for his life.
People like John Avery in Chicago, Kevin McDougal.
You know, here's what I think about this whole thing as well. This league's greatest asset remains the fact that the players are paid for performance. And it's really tough not to get behind that kind of dynamic as a fan in this day and age of escalating player salaries.
I'll tell you what else I liked about it, too. I didn't go to one game this year where the fans in the stands did not have fun. They had a good time at every XFL game.
Yeah, the in-stadium experience has been one of the best things about this league.
Not to mention, Ebonics is back in the national lexicon, as He Hate Me is now being worn on high school jerseys all over America.
Rod Smart asked to give commencement speeches.
I don't know, but
in all honesty, though, the football in this league from week 1 to this week 12 is a completely different story, and it's a shame that a lot of people, a lot of opinion shapers over the course of these United States really didn't give it a chance after week 1. You try telling a guy who's down 38-0 here with just seconds left that this doesn't matter.
And Pat Barnes in the unenviable position to come in when the team is down by so much. You know that they're going to throw the ball. You know that the opposing team is going to tee off.
Oh, wow. Got sandwiched there by his
own man, Scotty Adams.
His right tackle. And Pat's down.
All right, let's go. Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot said and a lot written on the future of the XFL. We do know that this championship season for the LA Xtreme has been solid from beginning to end. And these football players and these coaches, the football operation here really has a lot to be proud of.
I think the big turning point for LA was that second game with Chicago that went to triple overtime where they were in trouble. They really should have lost that game, and they found a way to win it. They would have started 0-2 otherwise, I think.
You know, when you put together a football team, continuity is a very important thing. Al Luganville had handpicked his coaches. They had all coached with him before. He knew exactly what direction he wanted this team to go, what kind of offense they would run, and that was a big head start for this team.
As a lot of players told us yesterday, it's about winning a championship. Yeah, everybody gets a $25,000 pop on the winning roster, but a championship's a valuable thing and something that these guys take a lot of pride in.
Oh, man.
Jermaine, throughout the year, perhaps you've had more fun than anybody and expressed it. How do you feel tonight?
Oh, I feel great. You know, I mean, hey, I told them they better have their heads on straight or something bad's going to happen. It's 38-0. We had a hell of a game. Offense, defense. That's LA Xtreme at its best. Baby!
Jermaine, before you go.
This is Odeman Sampson at quarterback.
What about your future in films?
Oh, hey, you never know. I hope it works out. If it does, you know I'm going to, but if not, oh well. Football's my life, baby.
It's tough not to like that guy. Again, Odeman Sampson has replaced Pat Barnes at quarterback for the San Francisco Demons here. as they wind down the clock inside of 2 minutes.
The 25-second clock is not operating.
And once again, we should remind everyone that San Francisco has all 3 timeouts remaining.
Special. Special. Out here.
Just a minute and a half left of football in this inaugural XFL season. Odom and Sampson trying to make something out of nothing. Create some kind of positive with which to end the season. He does run himself for a first down.
Yeah! Champions, baby! I wanted it to be good. I didn't think it'd be this good.
And you're right to basically have the full final 15 minutes of a game, knowing that you have the game won, to celebrate. I'm surprised that nobody's brought out their own, home movie camera.
Hey, I want to take time out, too, to say, Mike, thank you. Matt, it's been terrific. We've had a great time and a lot of fun.
Vice versa, Jesse.
There's a completion by Sampson out to Jimmy Cunningham.
And the best thing for me was learning all those big words that Adam Lee taught me throughout the broadcast.
Serve it.
Tommy Maddox celebrating with friends and family. It's a guy who had just flat given up football, went and bought a couple of insurance companies in Dallas. He was playing a lot of golf, decided to give it another whirl, and this is a guy whose career is alive and well today, thank you.
Did not need the money by any stretch of the imagination. Just the love of the game. I love you, Daddy.
One of the reasons Tommy Maddox decided to play here, and we heard this from other players as well, is that their kids had never seen them play. And it's a powerful thing when 3, 4, 5-year-old kids get to see dad out there strapping it on playing professional football, and it's really been a dream come true for Tommy Maddox.
And how neat for the kids to be on the sidelines.
Been a raucous crowd at times here in Los Angeles.
You know what else it is too, Matt? Is kids will get a new pair of shoes now.
That's a little more than that, I would hope. Baby needs a new pair of shoes.
Nice.
Or front teeth,
a couple of front teeth. I was just going to say that.
Casey, they're going to interview you, okay? Remember Mr. Rogan that interviewed you?
So, are you proud of your dad tonight?
Yes.
How proud are you?
Very proud.
What did he do tonight? He won the championship. And you might get a new toy out of it. So it's a good night for everybody.
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
You know, Fred's usually brilliant at extracting information out of women, but I think there's a certain age they need to reach.
He met his match.
Right, absolutely.
Woo! Hey, buddy. Thank you. Proud of you. Thank you. Hey, Tommy. Nice, Bob. Hey, buddy. What a baby. What a baby.
That's J.K. McKay, a former standout wide receiver and local football legend from USC, who is the general manager here in Los Angeles. Congratulations to J.K. as well. He has worked his tail off to bring professional football back to Los Angeles.
And not just professional football, but a championship.
Done a great job. Odom and Sampson on the run as we're inside of 30 seconds, and there's a touchdown for San Francisco. 21-yard rush for Odom and Sampson. Makes a new friend in the back of the end zone.
Well, now, of course, they got to make that decision on an onside kick.
And remember, they have 3 timeouts remaining.
No, they're down to 2. They used one.
What?
They used one.
We missed it?
They're going to go for the 3-point conversion.
Left.
It'll be a try from the 10-yard line after the touchdown.
3 points from the left hash mark.
And why not?
And you feel for that man as an assistant coaches that spend so many hours, 12, 14 hours a day, breaking down film and trying to concoct a game plan that works. And to have it end like this.
From the 10, a three-point conversion drive. Odom and Sampson keeps it, looking for a receiver still. And still moving. What the Fran Tarkenton is happening out there? It's checked off. Tinker Keck. Tinker Taylor, Soldier Maker. And he's finally taken down. A reminder, fans, tomorrow at noon Eastern, tune in for another NBA playoffs triple header. First up, the Raptors visit the Knicks. Then it's Phoenix and Sacramento out west. And in the late game, the Blazers battle the Lakers.
Great job, buddy.
Tonight, following your late local news, Saturday Night Live with that loose cannon whack job Tom Green and musical guest David Gray.
Love you, brother. Bro.
Like many an NFL Super Bowl, this one ends in a blowout. Congratulations to the LA Xtreme for not only today's championship victory, but for a great inaugural season in the XFL. The Xtreme able to do tonight what a lot of professional football in this city had been unable to do for years. Rams, Raiders, Mark Wilson, Vince Ferragamo, yikes. The Xtreme, in their first season in the league, have enjoyed a phenomenal success story in 2001.
Hey, what up, Boo? What up, Big Al? I told y'all we gonna bring one home for Dina, baby. Oh, yeah.
I told you, Mike, they're going for the onside kick.
Saladin McCullough.
I don't know what for.
Ron Carpenter fields the onside kick. Oh, and he's got a corner.
How about a little Cal Stanford here? Look at this.
Look out for the trombone player in the corner of the end zone, and they take Carpenter down at the 9. 14 seconds left.
They try to blow me up for no damn reason.
That's why I ain't go out there. That's why I ain't go out there.
LA's going to line up to take the knee. Top to bottom, point to point, whistle to whistle domination by the LA Xtreme. Well, guys, as we're doing our little feel-good goodbyes, I'd like to thank you guys for a great season. Jesse, Mike, and on behalf of Fred Rogan and Chris Raggy and the rest of our crew, it has been a lot of fun this year.
It's been a great time. It's funny how these seasons start and you think they will last a long time and they just fly by. Before you know it, you're in the playoffs and in the championship.
You know, and the neat thing about it for us is we enjoy sort of the same kind of camaraderie that the teams do on the field. We've all spent about 14 weeks together, counting the preseason and stuff. And how about a salute to our Jackie Singer?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
A salute to what?
Our delay switch girl. I thought she was our MVP.
Congratulations to Coach Al Luganville and the 2001 XFL champion Los Angeles Xtreme. The inaugural season of the XFL is in the books, and it has crowned a fantastic champion in the Los Angeles Xtreme. The preseason favorites come through with a big win at the end, a 38-6 trumping over the San Francisco Demons. And these guys from LA tonight will be divvying up $1 million. On behalf of Fred Rogan, Chris Raggi, Jesse Ventura, and Mike Adamley, this is Matt Vasgersian. Thanks for tuning us in.
Yeah, baby! Woo! Hell yeah!
What's up, boy? You back home? We got you.
Number one. Number one.
Receives.
All right, fellas. No contact before you get to the ball.
Said Harden for Los Angeles. James Hunden for San Francisco. Hunden a wideout. Harden the defensive end. This is all James Hunden. If he can keep possession, San Francisco gets the right to receive. And amidst big fanfare on the field and a lot of emotion in the stands,
People think we're trying to win that.
Hunden gets on it.
Kickoff.
Chair. Tommy Maddox is good and calm in the midst of a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. Sans the wind. It is breezy, but a lot more sunshine and a lot warmer than we anticipated yesterday. They were talking about rain here for the $1 Million Championship game. As a result of the nice weather and the big stakes, a lot of fans here today as well.
Right off the bat, let's go.
Everybody get their fucking block. Everybody get their block. To the house on 3. 1, 2, 3. Down.
Mike Pawlowski, as you heard during our open, did not play in last week's big San Francisco upset in Orlando. Instead, it was a fellow Cal Bear alumnus, Pat Barnes, that guided San Francisco's comeback. You see a lot of red in the stands here this afternoon. San Francisco has traveled well this afternoon, guys.
They had the best crowds in the XFL this week at Pac-Bell Park, and they just decided to come on down the road a little bit, about, what, 400 miles, Matt?
And I'll tell you, they've been yelling and howling before this game even started, and it's great to see visiting fans here in the opposing Coliseum.
And anytime it's a Northern California thing versus a Southern California team, man, anything can happen.
Jose Cortez is set to kick it to start this $1 Million Championship game. James Hunden lost it in the sun and starts the return at his own goal line. Dropped at the 11.
And I'll tell you, he did well to get back out to the 11-yard line on that one.
Mike Pawlowski led the XFL in completion percentage during the regular season.
Skip.
Both these offenses pass-oriented. Pawlowski and Maddox 1 and 2 in attempts this year. Coach Al Luganville's had great first-year success everywhere he's been as a head coach.
Money, go!
Pawlowski and the Demons start their day at the Los Angeles 11. A handoff to Kelvin Anderson around the left side. Drop for a gain of nothing.
Some would have you believe tonight's XFL championship game is meaningless. Just a handful of athletes playing for $1 million. Don't dare tell that to San Francisco's Scott Adams. Anchoring the Demons' offensive line, he spent the entire season banging heads in the trenches, all the time honoring his father's memory by wearing his dad's bootlace on his wrist. Tonight, Scott dedicates this game to his father. LA's Saladin McCullough doesn't buy that meaningless nonsense either. A player of exceptional talent, Saladin prayed for a second chance, and it came as the XFL. Vindication comes with a championship tonight. 35-year-old Dwayne Harper played 13 seasons in the NFL. In training camp, he searched his soul as to why he was still playing. The answer, he's never won a championship. And then there are the quarterbacks. LA's Tommy Maddox was a #1 draft pick that never panned out, or so it seemed. Away from the game a couple of years, he's back. Wiser, stronger, more mature. In short, better than ever. A victory tonight certifies it all. San Francisco's Mike Pawlowski knows what it means to sacrifice. Mike plays with a fused spine, unwilling to walk away from the game he loves. Tonight, Mike risks it all again for a title shot. The stories go on, each one more heroic than the next. So tonight, while these two teams battle for the title, know that it's not just about the money. Know that it's really about honor, about pride, about the opportunity to be called champion.
The XFL's $1 million championship game, the San Francisco Demons and the homestanding LA Xtreme.
Matt, here's a guy who's going to be a key. Kelvin Anderson, #4, brought down by that man there, Lamont Evans. How well he runs the football last week against Orlando. 53 yards, doesn't sound like much, but every single one of them were key, and it was important in San Francisco once they got back in the game to maintain some ball control.
Let's remember, San Francisco started very slow last week. They don't dare do that against this LA team, which has a great offense.
Ryan Roberson in forward motion. There's a little pass incomplete intended for Jamie Reeder. Well, people will be watching the progression of Mike Pawlowski and his passing game today. He was injured week 10 here against Los Angeles, did not play last week, and eyes are going to be focused on him, especially in the first quarter today.
Well, you know, you can second guess a coach, but I would have gone with Pat Barnes and brought Pawlowski in after. I would not have started him.
The Demons are the XFL's best third down conversion team, converting it over 40%. Here's Pawlowski to pass, spreading it out up top, and it's dropped. Looked like he had Jimmy the Jet, but Jimmy the Jet Cunningham couldn't hang on.
That answered a few questions about Mike Pawlowski's arm strength there. And look where he throws this ball into coverage, but right between the safety and quarterback. Good throw by Mike Pawlowski.
There's Mike Panasuk on to punt after a 3 and out to start it for San Francisco here this afternoon. It's a short punt, a live ball at the 36. Damon Gibson was on it and then got smoked as soon as he made the catch.
His own player hit him.
Killed him a week ago against Orlando. Okay. Bad field position, and now LA's got it here to start their first offensive series.
We got a flag.
Ineligible kicking team player downfield on the kicker is number 54. 5 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Tommy Maddox in the LA Xtreme, the league's best offense. Last 5 games, he was dropped 10 times. Rather in the first 5 games. Recently, last 5, that offensive line tightened up. They only allowed 14 sacks all season, including the postseason game last week.
And so much of the game is field position, and San Francisco's already given it up to LA, and I don't think you dare do that to Tommy Maddox. You can't let him start on your side of the 50-yard line.
Blue 44!
Blue 44, swap!
All kinds of motion and all kinds of flags.
Oh, they're calling a procedure on LA.
64 offense, 5 yards. The down remains first.
Well, one of the things that San Francisco wants to do is force Tommy Maddox out of his comfort zone, and that's up to the front four of San Francisco. It doesn't mean necessarily sack them because you can't, but it means anytime they go back to pass, to push, to surge, and have somebody in Tommy's face.
48!
Penalty marches him back now.
48!
First and 15. Saladin McCullough. Penetration into the LA backfield, and McCullough dropped for a loss.
Orlando with one of the better running attacks in the XFL, and last week San Francisco was able to shut that down.
And they did a nice job right there shutting it down. Good penetration. They beat the LA offensive line off the ball.
Start out there,
LA offers a little something that Orlando couldn't last week, and that's a passing game.
48!
Second and 17. A 5-receiver set now for LA. And a hand to Saladin McCullough with all kinds of room. A big gainer on the ground, and if LA can establish that early this afternoon, San Francisco's got problems.
Well, what did that was the fear of the pass. They were sitting at second and 17. They thought Maddox would throw the ball. Instead, a little delayed draw to McCullough. He breaks it outside, and it's the fear of the passing game that made that successful.
Also, San Francisco gambled a little bit, Jesse. They had a stint on the inside. It took the contained guy to the inside, and Saladin was able to bounce it outside.
44! Triple!
The Xtreme also very good in converting on third down. Darnell McDonald demanded poor motion. McCullough slipped. A big break for San Francisco. Eric England got there, and Saladin McCullough never had his feet under him. A loss of 3.
And now Al Luganbill's faced with a fourth down. He's going to go for it, or does he try the field goal? He's going for it. First big play of the championship right here.
How about it? You know, come to play, right?
I don't think that's too far.
What I think Al believes is that it's a little bit out of range for his kicker, Jose Cortez.
On 4th and 5, LA's first possession of the day, they're going for it. Maddox is going to throw. And he's got a completion out to Jermaine Copeland. First down, LA.
Jermaine Copeland, number 86 out of Tennessee, not the fastest guy in the world. He's not going to dazzle anybody with his speed or his 40 time, but this guy knows how to run around, and he knows how to get open.
Not only that, Mike.
Kevin Case-Fahar,
he's got great hands, and he's tall. So all that Maddox has got to do is get it up in the air, and Copeland with the great hands will bring it down.
Had a huge season during the regular campaign. And a big game against San Francisco, Week 10.
48!
Pick your poison. You stop the run, they come back and beat you with the pass.
That was incomplete, trying to get it to McCullough out of the backfield. So many weapons on the LA Xtreme. Saladin McCullough last week was responsible for 2/3 of their total offensive yards. We've already seen the road to the XFL Championship. LA favored. They beat Chicago last week to stay at home. San Francisco won on the road last week. A huge upset in Orlando. Welcome to the LA Memorial Coliseum. Matt Vasgersian along with you. This is it, the whole ball of wax. $1 million and bragging rights to the league's first championship on the line. LA and San Francisco, the first rivalry in the XFL and maybe the league's best. We welcome Jesse Ventura to the telecast. Let's talk about the homestanding Xtreme and their outstanding quarterback, Tommy Maddox, who happens to be the league MVP.
That's right. He's player of the year in the XFL, but Tommy says that's an award that should go for the whole team because he can't do it alone. But the thing Tommy's most proud of is the fact the knock on him was get to him early, he can't last. Tommy Maddox has played every essential down for the LA Xtreme, and San Francisco's going to have to disrupt him if they expect to win tonight.
Yeah, opponents just didn't get to Maddox this year, in part because he's got an outstanding offensive line. We welcome Mike Adamle to the telecast. Mike, maybe the best offensive line in the XFL here in LA.
Matt, unequivocally, they've allowed a league low, just 14 sacks and only 2 in the last 7 weeks. Watch what happens when a team tries to apply conventional 4-man rush pressure. Tommy Maddox has all day long to throw in the pocket. Okay, defensive coordinator says, let's blitz. No problem. LA picks up the blitzing middle linebacker, and Maddox steps up into a pocket to avoid the pressure from the outside. LA can also run the ball down your throat. This stuff is textbook. Tackle blocks down, guard pulls, and watch number 24, Saladin McCullough. The little jab step to set up the block, and goodbye, 44 yards, a big touchdown in last week's win over Chicago.
All right, so let's talk about the visitors, the San Francisco Demons. Jim Skipper, their coach, told us the past couple of weeks that this team's got to play emotionally up for them to win in the playoffs. That didn't happen last time San Francisco and L.A. met.
That's right, but Jim Skipper doesn't make excuses. He said they had two essential games. They came in flat against L.A., and it showed. Let's look how flat San Francisco was. Here you see Pawlowski getting hammered in the backfield. Offensive line doesn't do their job. They couldn't run the ball. Anderson getting stuffed in the middle, and then look at how flat they are on defense. Even with a blitzing linebacker, he doesn't get where he needs to go. The handoff to McCullough, he breaks it outside, and arm tackling like this is not going to get the job done as McCullough goes in almost untouched for the touchdown.
Well, the San Francisco defense certainly has to step up, but that's not the only phase of the game that the Demons have to bring to the table here tonight.
Yeah, the man who really has to step up, Matt, is quarterback Mike Pawlowski, the emotional leader of the San Francisco team. He missed last week's playoff win because of a sprained shoulder. And Pat Barnes got the job done for the Demons. We talked to Mike yesterday, and one of the things we'll chart tonight is how well he throws the ball downfield. But Mike said his arm is strong. It shouldn't hamper his throwing, even though he might be a surprise starter. Here's a scramble for the football.
Scramble for the football, as fans are aware of. It's the scramble for possession. There's wind blowing right to left here. This will determine who kicks and who